Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Hometown Hippies Sunday sermon with the new short hair. I did not get it fixed. I did get it washed because y'all, short hair don't care. You got to care if you're going to go live. Good morning. I'm so glad to see Miss Melanie Lewis back. We have missed you. Please say hello and tell us where you were watching from whenever you jump on here this morning. It is the first day of spring. And I feel it in my eyes and in my throat and in my nose. The last couple of weeks, allergies have already started kicking, but I am super excited to have spring sprunging in Virginia and everywhere else. It has been a good morning, Dennis. It has been good morning, good morning, good morning. It has been a long winter, right? Let me ask a question. How many of you watched Game of Thrones? Like, yes, watched it. Nope, never watched it. Tell me in the comments if you watched Game of Thrones or if you did not. And I don't know where this is going today. I'm just letting it happen. But Game of Thrones, right? They would talk about how winter is coming, the House Stark, right? If you were a Game of Thrones fan, you would know that's one of the taglines. My body is in Cartersville, but my mind is in the Bahamas on the beach. Yes. Dennis, it is a great show. I read the books. I did not read the books. I bought the books. Good morning from hometown Toledo, Ohio. What's up, Sunday Fun Day? If you are someone who watched Game of Thrones, tell me in the comments. Yes, best show ever. Loved Game of Thrones. So my husband's one of those people he would prefer to read over watching TV. So when the show came out, we watched the first season and I was addicted to it, right? And I loved it. I love period shows. I love that kind of stuff. And that one specifically, right? And read all the books. I tried, but we got into it. And one of the taglines from the show is "Winter is coming." And they would say, "Oh, you sweet summer child," for those who were never born in the long night, right? Because people were born in the long night. The winter was the long night. There was a big winter, like the story goes on. But it was all about winter is coming. Well, since winter has come, I have had my woo-woo guru keep telling me, every time I did a session, every time I did anything, I was like, why is this not happening? Why is this not happening? She would say, spring is coming, right? Right now it's winter, and everything that she was being guided to tell me and to help me understand and for me to kind of to do was that winter, right? For every season, right? For every season, there's a reason, right? What is it? The song that keeps coming into my head is like, turn, turn, turn. There is a reason. Turn, turn, turn. And a time to everything under heaven, something like that. I don't know the words exactly, but I know that is the idea, right? And she kept saying, winter is the time to hibernate. Winter is the time to germinate. It's the time to go within. It's not a time to bloom up yet, right? You can't bloom up in the wintertime. She's like, be patient, right? Stop. Take a breath. It's still winter. Stop. Take a breath. It's still winter. I was told that probably once every week since it has been winter. So today I can stop and understand that she kept saying, Tammy, I'm telling you what I'm getting is that in the spring you're going to bloom. If you take the time, right, and allow the winter to do what the winter is supposed to do. It's supposed to kill off all the bugs, right? It's supposed to get rid of all of that which does not serve. And it's a chance for you to rest and to go within and to it never fails, y'all. It never fails, y'all. It never fails.
Brother?
No, just a random, like, have you checked your car's extended warranty? They're like, are you on live? Do you have an extended warranty? We need to help you with it. But for every season, right? The winter is the time to germinate. Winter is the time to rest. Winter is the time, in my opinion, to plan, right? Think about that for a second, right? I want to know, what are some things that you have sat around the last couple of weeks and dreamed about? Because I've seen y'all doing it. I've seen posts, and even Melanie, I'm going to put this up here today, and I'll tell you what you plan in the wintertime, right? Days are short. Everybody's got SADS, seasonal anxiety, depression, or seasonal affected disease. I live with one. I told y'all that. It's awful until now.
A moody bitch.
A moody bitch. But the sunshine comes out, right? And he grows where he's planted. He blooms, he blossoms. But things you do in the wintertime, you plan vacation. Melanie said it. My body is in Cartersville, but my mind is in the Bahamas on the beach, right? My mind is in the Bahamas on the beach. Because during this time, during this cold time, we are stuck in the house. It's kind of like a seed being stuck under the dirt. That's what the dirt does. That's what the earth does. It insulates, it protects, it keeps it warm enough to be able to do all the things that it needs to do in the spring, right? The spring and the summer and all the things. And y'all know, because most of y'all who are watching right now have been here on my lives for the last few months, the winter months, right? Planning for new gardens. That's it, right? You're going to plan how you're going to plant. You're going to clean up. You're going to rest. You're going to rejuvenate. You're going to save money for that big vacation coming up in the summer, or that spring break trip. A lot of y'all are on right now. Maybe it's a road trip adventure. Maybe it's a household project, right? Spring cleaning, right? We come into spring and we're like, okay, we have been in the house all winter planning and germinating and getting better. And now spring is sprung. It is time to like clean out all that which does not serve, right? Think about the seasons of your life, just like the seasons for plants, right? Just for the seasons for growing and all the things. And tell me if there are not aspects and areas of your life that very much follow the seasons, just like you're a complicated houseplant, right? You need some sunshine, some water, and putting your feet in the dirt. Feed you and talk nice to you, and you will grow, right? So we're just complicated houseplants. And during the wintertime, you can't put houseplants outside sometimes, right? They'll freeze to death and die. I've literally been up, y'all, I've been awake since 8. I've been out of the bed since 9:45. I got up, I went straight to the bathroom, took a shower, got some clothes on, and came in here. I also made my pot of coffee before good morning, Barbara, before I got in the shower, so that was ready when I got out. But we are on day 1 of spring. It is time to bloom. It is time for us to take the lead of all the things that we have been doing and think about what you've been doing, right? What is something that you have done this winter, right? What is something you have done this winter to prepare yourself for the spring? Are you prepared? Are you prepared for the spring? Right? Are you prepared to bloom? Because here's what my messages have been for me. And I always tell you the power of one, right? Sometimes power of one is me, but I'm going to see if any of this resonates with y'all. If you exhaust all of your energy trying to bloom in the wintertime, right? If I did not listen, I did not want to listen, right? I would have poked my head out too quick, right? And gotten frostbite. But I have been trying to heed my advice of a little bit of introspection, right? I have thrown stuff up on the wall. We've done sweet treats. We have done specials. I've done all these different things, trying to kind of get some things established, kind of feeling good about what I'm doing with Hometown Hippie. It is spring, and it feels like everything is just kind of all the bouquet is getting ready to blossom, right? So today is the first day of spring, and I'm rolling into spring. And yesterday, I got my very first retail client. So I will be doing a bulk order for a retail client. That is a big deal, right? But if I had tried to do that back at the beginning of winter, it would have failed because I wasn't ready for it. Because I needed those months of germination. I needed those months of getting ready. I needed those months of let's see what Heather says here. I am taking some advice from my soul family and purging all that does not serve, removing all old items that are holding negative energy. I love that. I tried all winter long, right, to be patient, right? To be patient, to take deep breaths, to know that now is not the time to worry about growth. Now is the time to worry about solidifying the base, right? Because that's what germination is, right? And during germination, it's the time for the plant to kind of decide, am I going to be a good plant? I'm going to be a bad plant, right? Like think about like the root system is developing. It's kind of like when you grow a child, right? It's those first a little bit of time when you can't see it too much and you can't feel it too much, and it's real little before it pokes a head out. That it's kind of like all the cellular changes, all of that core work, the brain, the heart, the lungs, all the things are being formed. That's what wintertime is for, right? Wintertime is a time to go within and to solidify and get that foundation strong. So when you do bloom up in the spring, right? When you do bloom up in the spring and all the things start coming into play, right? That you can accept it, right? When the sun comes up, you have big fun leaves to throw up to the sunshine, right? Your flower is so big that it's wobbling in the wind. And so we are in spring and it's time to sprung, right? It's spring and it's time to sprung. It's time to sprung. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you, right? When we talk about all in divine time, all is well, all is in divine time. And some people very hard-headed. Tell me in the comments let me see your facial emoji. I want to see an emoji in the comments, okay? And I hope I can see them because sometimes it gives me these weird little dots in here, but I'll go back and look on my phone. When somebody tells you all is well, all is in divine time, what would be the emoji, your most common emoji, face emoji, whenever somebody tells you that, when you're not getting what you want? You want something that didn't happen, and I come on and I tell you, don't stress over it. All's in divine time. All will be well. Trust the universe. I know whenever I first started this journey and somebody would tell me that and I didn't understand what they meant, this is my facial emoji whenever I heard that. I would love to see yours because I'm going to show you mine. I'm gonna get on my phone because I've got to see these. I've got to see what y'all are saying about these, and I guarantee you they're hilarious. So I can comments. Let's see if I can get to the comments. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Dennis. So Dennis went. Heather was like puking on people. Let's see what Melanie Lewis. I saw it pop in here. Hasn't popped in on my phone yet. Melanie Lewis is like a sad face. Let me show y'all what mine was. Mine, I love the heart. So Jennifer, who's a Reiki master, and I want to show y'all too. I got a package from her this week. I was going to give you a shout out and I forgot to, Jennifer, because I've been busy and I'm so very sorry. My bracelet, I just took it off to take a shower, but let's see. So Jennifer gives me a heart. Melanie gives me this is what mine was. This is my face. I'm going to show it to you. Rolling the eyes. I'm like, oh, ugh. Like that exacerbated teenager, right? That exacerbated teenager who was just like, whatever. Oh my God. Like that's literally, I was like, God, so tired. I'm so tired of all in divine time. So tired. Do what? Ooh, we got geese that landed yesterday and ducks that landed today. And here's the interesting thing. I looked for those. I'm going to change topic for just a second. We have a pond and we have all kinds of waterfowl and things like that come, cranes, all the fun stuff, right? But we got geese, and Red was like, nope, they're not going to be building a nest. And I looked for geese and duck whenever they were migrating south for the winter, and they never showed up. And that was one of those things, right? I saw that you were wearing, I love it. I'm going to talk about it in a second. But they didn't show up. They did not show up going south for the, they didn't show up going south for the winter. I was like, well, oh well. And that's one of those things, all in divine time. But now when they stop here flying south for the winter, they stop long enough to poop, to eat, to get some drink, to rest for a day or so, and then they are gone. Then they are gone because it's getting too cold and they are heading down south for the winter. But to my husband's chagrin, right? To my husband's chagrin, they're here in the spring, which means, Twitter pated, right? Spring means they're trying to like nest and have some babies and maybe stay for a little while. But when you have ducks and geese that live on water, my guess, and the reason he doesn't like them, is because they will interfere and they'll eat his fish because they got to feed their babies, and then they got to have food.
They transfer bad aquatic reefs to my pretty clear water.
They transfer bad aquatic reefs, weed to his clean, pretty water. But I think he could probably clean his water and let the geese have their little moment. I don't know though. Geese, they say, are really, really mean, and I'm not gonna be chased by a goose at my house because I live here. I will. That's not gonna happen. We'll have a goose for dinner. All in divine time, goose. I'll do magical cooking. You'll be fine. Don't feel bad because I do eat animals. But because exactly, Heather, I was talking about why do we not want to hear, like, why do we not want to wait in the winter? Because we are an instant gratification society. She says, I, for one, had to learn to practice or learn patience for sure. We are. But here's the thing. Good things come to those who wait. Good things come to those who wait. And I'm going to tell you, right? If your entire journey, if you're waiting on it, but you continue to try to force it, it is like, I don't have cats now. I had one cat in my whole life, and they are the most trifling. Like they're not like dogs. Like I called Chesapeake, here Chesapeake. I can do it right now. I'm not gonna bother because she doesn't feel well. But I could call my dog, and my dog would come right to my leg. She would come right here, like, what do you want? Like, what? When I had a cat, if you called the cat, that was the reason for the cat to walk away and ignore you even more. Like if I wanted to see my cat and play with my cat, like, where are you at? The cat would legitimately hide under the bed, right? And the more you try to force it out, the deeper it retreats, right? And that's what happens whenever we are trying to force something through the long winter, right? Through the long night, through the winter. They come when they want. That the cats are the universe, right? You cannot force the universe's hand. You cannot force God's plans because God has his own time, and it is going to be at his own pace. And exactly when we say all in divine time, it's because you cannot force things to happen. And when you force things to happen, we talk about power versus force. God, universe, source is power. If you allow things to happen all in divine time, then things are going to come to fruition in a powerful, amazing way, right? When you are doing it your way, when you are not understanding that message of not yet, just wait, just take a breath, and wait for the spring. Take a deep breath and wait, right? You are forcing it to happen, and then it might poke its head out, but it's not going to give you love because you forced it, right? Think about that. Think about, have you ever tried to get a cat out from under something like a bed or to play with it? Like, or I had a cat, like, oh, my friend's coming, look at my cat. I'm trying to get it out. And you're like, it's like holding on. You're like, there it is. But if you let the cat just meander itself out, it comes out strutting. It'll come stand on your friend and like purr on them and knead and like be a little sassy pants because it did it in its own sweet time, right? You didn't force it to happen. You didn't force it to happen. And that's the big thing, right? Now we're on day 1 of spring. I want to give a couple of shout outs. Number 1, the Outer You did my hair. Right now, it is not the best version of itself because I've not fixed it today. But some days you just don't. And I've had it fixed now for 2 days, and I'm not going to go put heat on it. If I had one wish, it would be to do away with human ego. The benefits of this world, it would be. The benefit of this world would be amazing. It would be. And that's a lot of what it is. That's why we want to force it. I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's ego, right? Good morning, Lisa. It is about the fact that when we try to force all those things to happen, and here's the thing, like, even think about this. Like, I grew up at a time, I'm aging myself. I'm almost 50 years old. And I I grew up in a time that you couldn't force a suntan, right? I loved it. That's what I planned. That's what I thought about all winter long, was how pasty pale my skin was and how I could not wait. Because my whole thought with spring break was, I'm going to start my tan, right? I'm going to start my tan. I would plan out my tanning program for the summer. My friend had a pool, and one of the things that I'm probably paying for a lot of that now with, like, all the things, but we loved a tan. We loved to lay in the sun and listen to the boom box and put our baby oil, and yes, for you youngins. Anybody else remember baby oil and iodine? Or sun in your hair and a boom box and the pool and fluorescent bathing suits and all the things, right? We would plan our tan because there was no shortcut to that. There was no forcing a tan in the wintertime by going to the tanning bed. There was no such thing in this area. Tanning beds did not come. When I was in high school, middle school, there was no such thing as a tanning bed. There may have been, but I was not privy to one, be able to get into one, none of those things, right? Because I'm going to tell you what, like, I think about it, right? I think about it right now, and I know that the sun and what it does to your skin. I know, y'all. I know all the things, right? Sun in, yes. Um, but I remember the way that waiting for the summer and waiting for the true sun and waiting for the days of getting the tan. I remember, like, is the sun ever going to come? Now, fast forward 10 years to being able to go to a tanning bed anytime you want to get a little sun, right? Think about that, right? Anytime I want to go get some sun. And I started going to the tanning bed. And I'm like, this is not, like, this tan is not the same. Tan is not the same. Um, the experience of, like, actually getting, like, laying there with your friend, listening to the music, like, the whole joy of that suntan was erased because I forced it, right? I didn't stand in the power of the sun. I wanted to, I know too, but sun and water are my feel good things. And girl, I will to this day, I don't care. I love to have sun kissed skin. I love it. But I love sun kissed skin, not light kissed skin, right? And that's the difference. Because I got to that thing where, you go to the tanning bed, you can get the tan, you can get the look, but I didn't get the same experience because I tried to force it. The tanning bed to me is force, the sun is power, right? And that's a weird metaphor. Everything feels gross in the tanning bed. It just does. Because you do, like, you get that, like, butt sweat because you have to clean it all down. It's not the same thing, right? And you realize that it's not about the way your skin looks that you're excited about. You're excited about being able to take that time, right, to honor the outdoors, to enjoy the summer, to smell all the smells. I'm like, well, I don't smell. That's why I'm moving to the shore. I love this. Y'all know what y'all get the metaphor I'm using, right? Right, about power versus force. And for me, it was about the smell of the Hawaiian tropic, and the tunes of the radio, and the feel of the concrete picking the bottom of a bathing suit, or the comfortability of my lounge chairs I laid there, and the conversations and the books that I've read laying in the sun. Or maybe if we were at the beach, because that was my favorite place to get, but versus the pool, my favorite place was to lay by the shore and listen to the sounds of the waves. And I realized that it wasn't about the sun on my skin, or the way that it wasn't about how the tan looked after. The laughter of friends, all of those. I love it. Oh, yes. Yes. I'm going to tell you what, that's my favorite place in the whole wide world to ground, is whenever the ground goes away and then it fills it back up, because it reminds you that it's flow, right? That reminds me, it grounds me, and it helps me to understand ebb and flow. And it helps me to understand the power of the universe, because I think that there's nothing more powerful in the entire world than to stand on the shore and to look at the power that is the ocean, and to hear the rustling and the fact that the water is so powerful, and you can look out and you can see, like, I feel like it's like all the elements are kind of represented at the ocean. You got the sand. I feel like that's earth a lot of times. The water, of course, all the wind blowing of air. I love a good beach fire, and I think that the beach always still reminds me of fire as well, because there's always like a bonfire or a grill going or something, and it's just the sun is a fire sign, and the sun is so giant in the sky. But that's what I'm saying, right? When I, took away the planning, the waiting for the sunshine to come out, and they invented, right, this, like, okay, you want a suntan, we got you a suntan, go in this little booth for 15 minutes, and it's like being at the beach for a week, right? You can look like you've been on vacation and never leave your house, right? But I realized very quickly that it was not about the way the tan. We would have like tanning contests. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be ahead this year because I'm going to the tanning bed. It wasn't about this. It was about the time that you stopped, right? The time that you took to go outside. The vitamin D, exactly. The vitamin D you get from the sun makes you feel better, and add the salt water and the wind from the ocean, it can only make your mood much better. Yes, 1,000,000 trillion gazillion percent. But I realized, right, it wasn't about my skin. It was about all those things we talked about. It was all those things. The laughter of friends, the smells that you could even taste summertime. And at 50 years old, let me tell you, the taste of summertime to me, it is Kool-Aid. It is like purple Kool-Aid, because you get like a big jug of water and like water from the hose. I can definitely, summertime is crisp to me. It is cold drinks and the taste of like barbecued food with a little burnt charcoal on it, like a burnt hot dog on the grill. Then, like someone else said, planting your garden as I got older. It was taking, we've done it all winter. Red and we have changed our mind 1,000,001 times. We are a little late. We need to get some sweet potatoes and some regular potatoes and some cabbage in the ground, because I love those things. And then we plan out what we're going to plant this year. Like, what are we going to focus on this year? What are we going to plant this year? Where are we going to plant this year? How are we going to set it up this year? So we do plan that garden. And so someone else said that planning the things you're going to plant, your flower garden, your herb garden, you plan all those things out. Now, that's okay, Gina. You can always show up when you show up, right? Corn on the cob, corn on the cob. Yeah, all of those things make you think of what we're getting ready to roll into, right? This time of year where you're able to be outside more, where you're able to commune with nature, where you're able to plan and execute all of those plans, whether it be traveling or spring cleaning or planting in the garden or swimming and getting that suntan, or whatever you do. To take the time that you had this winter, right? All the things that you set on, right? You meditated on and that you believed. And the movie that just came into my mind, right? And I tell you all the time, like, I get these weird how things come in. It's Bambi. Right? Being Twitter-pated, springtime and love blossoming in the air because you're out and about and all the fun stuff and being Twitter-pated. So even love blossoms in the spring, right? Even love blossoms in the spring. And I'm seeing all of these mated pairs of birds right now, right? Outside, right? Wish me luck. I'm doing me a garden this year. First time many years, and just me doing it from start to finish. I love it. So Melody, I'm going to tell you this, okay? I'm going to tell you that for your first year doing it by yourself, don't get in over your head. Start small and don't get in over your head. The first year that we moved back here, here's the greatest advice I'll give you. This probably is going to be a message as well. You know how things go as it came up. We had been in Richmond for 10 years, and my husband has got a green thumb. He can grow. He's the plant and animal whisperer, right? Dogs and animals love him. He's not met people like dog bites. He's like, hold my beer, right? Come here, dog. And the dog loves him. But he also can grow. He is just can grow and grow and grow. So the first year we moved back, it was 2019. We moved back in October. So we got here. It was wintertime. It was time to like go within. And here's the thing. We were at a place when we moved back here at the beginning of winter in 2019. And I'm thinking about it now. And here's the message, that we had no option but to stop and germinate. We had zero options. We were starting from fresh. We had moved back here. Things were all kind of like wonky. We were exhausted from getting our asses kicked in Richmond for a little while, right? We were just exhausted. And so we just honestly allowed the wintertime to be the wintertime. We also swear, and I don't know if this is, I don't know, we both feel this way. We moved back in October of 2019. Between Christmas and Thanksgiving and Christmas, Red and I were sicker than we have ever been, with a cough. We swore whenever the whole COVID thing got announced, all those symptoms and all the things. Now we could still, if we were sick, so we couldn't taste and smell, but it wasn't like, we just thought it was because we were sick, right? It wasn't like it was weird, like nobody thought about it. Because, when you have a stuffed up nose, you just can't taste and smell sometimes. We were sick. But when the spring sprung, right, we had planned, like we had a garden spot. Not only that, but 2020 hit, right? So March, everything shuts down. We had already started like tilling the ground. We bought a tractor over and had our whole, like an acre of garden tilled up, right? Because in our mind, we had rested and we wanted to throw ourselves into like growing our own food. We saw that like there was supply chain issues, all of the things. So I'm going to give you another piece of advice. This is the other thing that I did. Whenever the ground was tilled up, I walked out and I walked that tilled up area. I walked it barefooted as I could be, earthworms and all the things, and I spoke life into that ground. And that's why I think I'm so connected to that earth. So I want to encourage you, once you till up your area, Melanie, to go put your feet in it. And I want you to talk to your ground. And now this is going to sound crazy. This is my best advice. And Red will tell you, we had, so the area that I did the stuff in, I did 200 jars of pickles, right? And I was like, okay, cucumbers, okay, tomatoes, okay, peppers, all the things that we're putting in the ground, give us a bounty and I will bless others with my bounty. And I said that. I told Red, he's like, whoa. I was like, anything extra, we're going to make sure no one is hungry if we have the extra. We're going to take care of ourselves first, but we are going to bless others with the bounty because it's going to be such a bounty. We're going to have it to do it. I intended it. I was like, this garden is going to be so fertile that it is going to feed the masses and we're going to be okay with that, right? So I went out there and I said, thank you, Mother Earth, for allowing us the ability, right? I talk to all of my plants. And I'm going to tell y'all the song I sing. I'm going to sing it to y'all on all my little hanging baskets and all my house plants. I don't even know the name of the song. I just know that it's like, oh my God, I see you watching back. And all of this. Oh, that was bad. Don't judge me. Because I go to my place, I'm like, grow for me, grow for me, grow for me. Oh. I can see the way you grow. Oh. It's dance for me, like dance for me, dance. But I changed it to grow for me, grow for me. And I walk around and I sing that. And I'm laughing because I'm like, I do that all the time. And it's so embarrassing. I don't know why it's making me cry. Yes. And so we planted this giant, massive, like crazy. We had green beans, tomatoes, broccoli, cabbage, peppers of all sorts. We went crazy with stuff. Then that same year, that same time, Red gets Rocky Mounted spotted tick fever or something like that. I don't know if it's Rocky Mountain spotted tick fever, but that's what I've always called it. And he had to do antibiotics for like a month where he could not be out in the sun. So our landlord, who's amazing, he was like already coming. He loves to come over here on Mondays and like mess around. He's like, well, I'm going to come over and make sure I can help with the yard because Red can't be out in the sun because I was doing all the outside. I was like, you got to not be out in the sun because his antibiotic would make him physically ill and he'd get like, burnt and all the things. So we planted this massive garden and now it got way ahead of us. So all the winter crop, he kind of got that stuff done. We planted a winter crop. We had like half our garden in winter crop. And then we did all that and then boom, we planted a spring and, at end of the year kind of crop. And I wanted to do like a fall crop too. But we got so overwhelmed with it, right? We got so overwhelmed. But my brain is that the world is ending. The sky is falling. We're in the middle of COVID. We can't lose all this food. We've got to do something with it. So I legitimately felt like I learned a lot about gardening, and I didn't do a lot of the planting, and I don't do a lot of the planting, right? But I do the lion's share of the picking and the harvesting, because I go out every morning in the summer whenever we have a garden. I get up before it gets too terribly hot, just like I am, with my bucket and my muck boots, and I go out sometimes just barefooted, and I go out and I pick what I can pick in the mornings and bring it in. And y'all see it if you've been following me for a couple of years. I'll put my harvest up and show pictures of all the things. And then usually in the evenings when Red gets home, he would go out and do all the watering, and I do the water, the morning water, and he'd do the afternoon water. We have like a whole sprinkler system and stuff. And then he would pull in whatever maybe had ripened enough on the vine, because when you get your garden coming in, Melanie, you'll find out there'll be a morning picking and an afternoon picking for our size. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is not to plant more than you can handle, because if you get overwhelmed with it, my husband, by like the third week of him having the antibiotic, like by the time like things got ahead of us, he was like, I am just ready to get the tiller and till it under. It has gotten too much. It's too big. What are we going to do? And then last year we sized it down about half. And then probably this year will be a little bit of a different planting situation. But that's another little lesson, right? Best laid plans, and you just have to kind of roll with it and allow nature to do its thing. Like, because we planted the first year, we planted cucumbers. And they were not doing, everything else was popping up and doing all the things that we was like, well, maybe the deer got to the cucumbers. Maybe they didn't take, maybe they were bad seeds. So we had tilled up that winter crop. We went to Lowe's and bought some random seeds on a Saturday or a Sunday because our cucumbers weren't doing anything. We came home and Red, mounded up all the hills and all the things. And we put all the seeds in the hills, and we had gotten that planted and watered for 2 days. And then the other cucumber patch on the other side of the garden that we thought was just done and not doing anything, all of a sudden when we planted that other cucumber patch with all those cucumbers, our initial cucumber patch looked like Jack and the Beanstalk. It went ape shit, y'all. It grew and grew and grew. And that's why I have 200 jars of pickles, if not more. Some of y'all have come over to pick your stuff up and you have taken pickles with you. Because I'm like, you like pickles? I got pickles. And then last year we were heavy on tomatoes because I had so many pickles the year before. Like, let's just do cucumbers to eat this year, and let's focus on something else to can and put away. And this year we're trying to get green beans. I need some peppers. So I'm making lots of salsa. So my goal this year is to do a lot of pico and salsas, and then peppers for freezing because I need peppers, and some green beans. I'm going to can thousands of jars of green beans this year. So that's my goal this year. So if you're out planting a garden, you're planting your garden, just do what you can do. I'm going to say start small and then add things in. If I was going to do my very own garden by myself from start to finish, I would do a raised bed with like a potted tomato plant. It would be a cherry tomato plant for my deck if I had to do it all by myself. And when I'm a little old garden lady, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to have. I'm going to have a little pot that's going to have like a little trellis around it for cherry tomatoes. It's going to be right by my door so that I can pick my tomatoes for my salads and my pastas and all that stuff right from the door. I would have a small raised bed with a couple of pepper plants, like a green pepper, a red pepper, a jalapeno, little hot stuff. Then I would have a small, like one hill of cucumbers, right? So maybe a wall of lettuce, like a little pallet with some lettuce stuff. But it just depends on what you eat, because my plan was I told Red, I was like, while we physically still can, right? While we physically still can, I'm going to go and we're going to plant and I'm going to put away and all the things as much as I can so that I can have those things. Because my nanny and granddaddy used to put up a garden and they had an entire cellar of things that they 100% could eat on year round, and it saved them a lot of money. And when you get older and on a fixed income, that's what I'm thinking about, being able to plan for those things. But I don't know how we get on that tangent about planning for the spring, I guess. So Melanie says, I'm going to put it up here. I'm just starting literally. Yes, I figured the tomatoes would be better in a pot of their own. Yeah, it's easier, I think. Also for me, it's all the bending over. So raised beds are just a good way to kind of like save yourself some like physicalness. We plant ours on the ground because we're not going to, spend a lot of money on raised beds for somewhere that we don't live full time. When we get our land, we're going to then reevaluate. And like having the tent and stuff, we can actually germinate seeds and all the stuff. Melanie, I'm also going to tell you, go to a good gardening center to get your plants and talk to the people there. I love, and I'm just going to be honest, I love B&M Greenhouse. B&M Greenhouse in Farmville that has plants. I buy most of my hanging baskets, all of my vegetable plants and stuff there a lot of the times because they're really good about telling you what you need and how to do it. And I like that. I like that customer service of knowing like when to plant, what to plant, how to plant. But that being said, let's talk about the springing and sprunging and all the things. So like I said, I do have my very first retail client. I'm super excited about it. Went up yesterday, got some new, I'm going to show y'all. We have new, I have so much stuff in here. This I'm super excited about. In our area would be Wooden Brothers. Actually, Gina, Melanie is not anywhere near you, darling. She is in Cartersville, Virginia. So she is up near on the other side of Cumberland. So she is going to probably end up going into either Goochland or Richmond, or maybe even come back to Farmville, Cumberland area to get her stuff. Southern states would probably be and Cumberland would probably be a good place for her. So this is the newest cooking ingredients. We got some new raw material, and this is Northern Lights. This is Northern Lights, y'all. It is absolutely gorgeous. It smells sweet. It is delicious. Okay, so it's just like this aroma that comes up. It's so good. So this week we are doing our big push. This is a big week because I am getting ready to start all of the prep for Easter, to get ready for that, right? To make sure that we are prepared for all the fun things that is Easter. So this will be the last week that I'm kind of creating until Easter. So the next stuff after this you will see will be the Easter menu. So this week we are doing whoopie pie trios in 6-packs. Okay. The menu will be updated by noon today. I'm going to get off here today. When I get off here, I'm going straight to the menu to update what we have. Okay. Taking off some of the St. Patrick's Day stuff, adding in this week's stuff. We are doing pineapple upside down whoopie pies. All these are my new recipes. Oatmeal cream pie whoopie pies, oatmeal cream pies. And then that Reese's peanut butter cake that everyone has been asking about, I'm taking that and turning that into a whoopie pie. So it's a Reese's peanut butter cup whoopie pie. So it's going to have a lot of the basic components that you had from the chocolate peanut butter pies, but inside the filling, it's going to be some like actual chunks and pieces of Reese's peanut butter cups. And then we're going to take the outside and we're going to roll it around. So it's got Reese's pieces, little mini ones, all around the outside. So it'll be like a little Reese's peanut butter cup. It is. And that is going to be, so the Northern Lights, I'm using that today. I am making a pound of butter with all the different strains because we have different things we're doing with different stuff. So the Northern Lights is going to be perfect for the oatmeal and the peanut butter. Okay, that's the terpene profile for this one. I can tell it by smell. I just know. And then this is our Hulkberry. This is our Hulkberry, and this smells like fruit. It's got so much. Oh, oh, it is such a pretty smelling. And this is just nothing but cola buds. So this is going to be great for our citrus-based things. So if you get a lemon pound cake, or you get pineapple upside down cake, or the pineapple upside down whoopie pie, that's going to be made with Hulkberry. So those are our new strains, and I'll be doing some profiles on those this week. I am going to go back to trying to find some educational things. Y'all keep the funnies coming. Keep the funnies coming. But we are working on our finalized menu. That's going to be like a full-time menu with just maybe a sweet treat here and there. I've been throwing all of these things up this winter, right? All the things that I've been doing this winter have been kind of like a trial run. What do you love? What do you not love? What sells? What does not sell? So here's what we're going to do. I am going to be making lollipops, probably not this week, but next week. And lollipops, I have an elderberry syrup. And it's very healthy. It's supposed to be like a good, for your immune system. Elderberry is very much a superfood to like help you with your immune systems. We're rolling into spring with allergies and all of that stuff. So I know we're going to have people with some stuff here, and you need some strengthening of your immunity. So I'm going to be working with the elderberry syrup to turn it into a simple syrup to actually make lollipops that are going to have elderberry. And then I've got local honey. So I'm going to do an elderberry and honey lollipop. We're going to give those a try coming up soon. I'm going to experiment with those before I drop them out, but that's one of the things. It's like, wait for it, it's coming. If you suffer from sore throat, from nasal and all the allergies, or you just want something that tastes yummy, will knock out my coughing. Yes, exactly, Jean. And that's a good option for you too, is that lollipop. It's going to be honey, elderberry. So it's going to be local honey, which is within a 100-mile radius. So pretty much if you're local to me, that's going to work for you because it's going to help with your allergies. Because plants over pills, right? And going back to the initial mission, I get excited because I love to create desserts, but I also need to be more cognizant about keeping you all in good health, right? And we're rolling into the spring. We got to think about elevating, right? Elevated edibles. We're going to elevate again. So number one, elderberry lollipops with honey are coming for that reason. Number two, our gluten-free snacks. I'm bringing back a couple. Okay, number one, I'm bringing back this week. I'm going to be bringing back the Almond Joy Power Bites that are gluten and sugar-free. Okay, I'm bringing back the white chocolate cranberry, and I'm bringing back the carrot cake. These are all gluten-free, sugar-free options. So those are going to be back on the menu. Are going to be on the menu. They were just a sampler to start with, but I have all the things to kind of put those power balls together. So we're going to do the Almond Joy, and we're going to do the white chocolate cranberry. We're not going to do the trail mix or the PBJ actual power balls. We're going to do those three. Are going to be our gluten-free options there. The trio whoopie pies I'm super excited about. Those are going to be heavily dosed. They're going to be kind of like more of a fun time. They're going to come in a 3-pack. You're going to get one of each: pineapple, peanut butter cup, and oatmeal cream. You can buy them individually. So if you want to buy your individuals, you can buy your individuals. And then there's also going to be a 6-pack of 2 of each. So there will be options. So if you're like, I don't do oatmeal anything, or I don't do peanut butter anything, or I don't do pineapple, but I want to have oatmeal, or I want to have this, I'm going to make sure you have options for all of that. And that's going to be updated today. I am also going to be working on, because my retail customer wants the salad dressings. My retail customer wants the hot sauce. That's all going to be on the menu, and I'm super excited. So we have been through winter, right? We have been through the hibernation, right? And it's now time to spring up, to do all of the things that you have been kind of taking a deep breath and waiting for. Now is the time to make things happen, right? Now is the time to go ahead and let it fly, right? And what I'm going to say is this. Now is the time to step into your power. Now is the time, if you have been listening to all of the things that people have been saying, if you have been taking it in, if you have been a student of your own kind of yourself, now is the time to take all of the things that you have heard and actually allow that to become part of your life, right? Actually take some action to make it happen. But I'm going to tell you this, still stand in your power. Don't force it to happen, right? Don't force it to happen. Stand in your power and allow it to happen. As you know, on Sundays, on Sunday sermons, right, we pull a crystal affirmation card to give us our guidance for the week. Sometimes it supports our message. Some you just can't make it up. Other times it's a specifically other message and it starts something crazy. But I'm trying to keep my lives to an hour or less, and we're at 51 minutes. So let's get the ball rolling, right? So do me a favor. As you know, we're going to take some deep breaths in. 3 deep breaths in. One more, taking that deep cleansing breath. Smell the birthday cake. It smells so good. Cherish that birthday cake smell. And then I want you to blow it out with all the force you have. And now I want you to focus in on just kind of an average deep cleansing, like just your normal breathing pattern, right? I want you to clear your mind. I want you to think, I want the next positive steps for this group. I'm calling in my spirit angel team. This morning, I'm gonna shuffle 10 times because I was late going live this morning, and I shuffled. I looked at the time, and I'm like, it's the exact right time because it was 10:10 when I hit the button. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our card today. Love this. It kind of reminds me of the sun. It's a sunstone. That's probably why. Sunstone. And it says, take pleasure in the things you do. Right? And I don't know why the sun tanning thing came in today. This is kind of, I think this one is what hit my head again. Take pleasure in the things you do. Take pleasure in the things you do. And what a great, every time I put my card up, it's going to mess my camera up. There we go. So with taking pleasure in the things that you do, that sounds like very easy advice, right? Oh, I love this. So the first line of this says, don't just stop and smell the roses. Make yourself a bouquet. I love that. If you find yourself moving through your day on autopilot, force yourself to stop and take a moment to appreciate the beauty in your life. If you find you're always focused on what's next, allow yourself to appreciate the moment at hand. You know, this is interesting about the message we had today, right? About the message we had today, about the winner being stopping, right? Rewatch that part at timestamp 52 or so when you call in your guides. Okay. Did something happen that I missed? Because I didn't see it for sure. I'm definitely gonna rewatch it. I'm super like what happened? Right? Don't just stop and smell the roses, right? Don't just stop and smell them. It's spring, right? Don't just like, I'm saying stop, like pick the flowers, revel in the flowers, enjoy the things, right? We have spent all winter waiting for spring to sprung, right? It's time to take full advantage of it, right? Take full advantage of it. Enjoy it. Revel in all of the patience and all of the things that you have waited on. Melanie, here's the best advice I can give you. This is the best advice I can give you about your garden. This is the best advice that he and I took about our garden. Enjoy it. Don't see it as a chore, right? Be so grateful in the fact, and that's how I handled it the first year. I was like, we are overwhelmed, and I could like sit there and like just go pick the stuff. But instead, I like went out there and enjoyed being in the sun, enjoyed. I could see the energy change as they step forward. I love it. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. Um, so it says, don't just stop and smell the roses. Make yourself a bouquet. If you find yourself moving through your day on autopilot, stop yourself and take a moment to appreciate the beauty in your life, right? So stop, and when it gets overwhelming, go, look at the fact that I have this stuff. That's what we did, right? We stopped and we're like, it's overwhelming, but look at the bounty. Look at the people that can eat. Let's invite somebody over to say, hey, do you want some cucumbers? Come pick them. And people did that. And they enjoyed it. And it was wonderful. It was no big deal, right? Just stop and enjoy it. If you're always worried about what's next, like me, I was like, okay, what's next? I got to pick something else next, right? If you're always worried about that, you're never going to appreciate the moment in hand, right? And that's what the winter was supposed to be, right? Stopping and realizing the snow sucks, but it's beautiful in this moment. It sucks to grow a flower in it, but it's exactly right for this moment, right? So that's what I want y'all to do. You can even put a reminder in your phone if needed to stop and smell the roses. And I love that. And y'all should all do that. Like, give yourself an alarm at some time every day to stop and look at the beauty around you. That's a great little thing. I'm going to do that when I get off here. You only get one life. Allow yourself time to enjoy it. Do something that gives you a significant boost of energy and happiness, something that fills your cup. It says it right here. Y'all, we can't make this up, right? And feeds your soul. And to me, filling my cup and feeding my soul are just synonymous with the exact same things, right? Take delight in everything you do because it's those little pleasures that make your life truly worth living. Wow. And I'm going to tell y'all this. One of the things that I did in my last esoteric healing session before Carly left to go on her retreat was this. She said to me, I said to her, I was like, I am starting, like, I love being in the kitchen. I love cooking. It's my joy. But when I've been doing it for work now for a couple of years, and week before last, I was, y'all know, I told you, y'all saw me crying, all the things, right? Was that I was extremely tired. And then I got very, very, very overwhelmed. And I'm like, I don't want my happy place to become my miserable place because I'm tired and I have to, right? It's the I have to. I've got to. I'm like, the fun of being in the kitchen and all of that stuff, I'm feeling like I'm slowly ripping it away from myself because I'm overwhelming myself. And she told me to think about that, right? To think about what I could do to protect my energy despite of the fact that it was how I was making my living now. And this last 2 weeks, this is why I like the whole thing about make your own recipes. You make your magic with your intention. Now with the new whoopie pies that I'm coming out with this week, it's going to be it's going to be a stressful, it's going to be a very, hopefully, very like busy week. I cannot wait to get these in your hands. I want to see like you take a bite of it. Like I'm going to put a little thing like take a bite, get a prize, something like that. Because I am making these from my scratch recipe. It's my spell, right? My recipes. And I am so excited about it, right? Because I had to, right? Take delight in everything I do. I was like, well, if I'm going to do somebody else's recipes and just kind of repeat it, that is not delightful for me. What is delightful for me is creating in the kitchen and creating my own things. And that's what I decided to do, is take delight, to take fun in all the things that I do, right? So I'm taking my own advice, and I use these as metaphors to show you how it's important to do that. Whatever that might be for your life, I want you to find time to take delight in the things that you do. Do all things with a happy heart, right? And change the language, right? For example, when Red was like, God, we got to go out there and do the garden. We got to go out there and weed. I was like, let's change the language, because how are we going to make it more pleasurable? If we got to force ourselves out there, right? I said, let's change the language. It's like, how excited are you that we get to? We get to go out and weed the garden. We are so blessed that we are able to have this garden out here, that we're not living on a quarter acre, that we're not waiting to go to the grocery store. There's no tomatoes to have a salad. We can go pick a salad tonight. Let's change the way we look at it. Let's change our messaging around it. And it made it a lot better and a lot more pleasurable for us to do. So Melanie says, yes, I go on autopilot. I'm waiting for this to pop up. Sorry. I go on autopilot. I'm trying to make changes and to be grateful. I have an alarm on my phone that I sent a positive message to someone else. Just pick random friends and family. Now, Melanie, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Charity starts at home. I want you to change that alarm, and I love paying it forward. I love those random acts of kindness. We'll talk about this in a second. But what I want you to do for this next week is I want you, when that alarm goes off, don't send a positive message to someone else. I want you to just look in the mirror and say it to you. That's the message I got. You need to do that for yourself, and do that until you have no problem believing everything you say in that mirror to you. And then you can share that with somebody else. Charity starts within, okay? Core questions this week. What is the greatest pleasure in your life? Number 2, what is a small joy you experience every day? One of the greatest pleasures in my life is my family. That's one of the greatest pleasures of my life, that I am blessed with a loving family, and I love my family. One of the smallest joys I experience every day is messaging and seeing online. And I'm going to be honest, I get such fulfillment from you all, from my Grateful Fed community. Y'all have no idea. When y'all tell me something tastes delicious, whenever we eat dinner at home at night, when I cook, just for my husband, something I cooked 1,000,000,000 times, I will wait to even touch my food. When my husband sits down at the dinner table at night and he takes that first bite of his food, and it's kind of like someone just said, the energy changing, and whenever they step forward. Whenever my husband takes that first bite of dinner, and I see he'll do the food dance sometimes. If I see him eat, he goes, I'm like, my whole entire world lights up. For me, the ability to nourish people in a way that makes them dance with their food, it's like the biggest, warmest embrace, the longest, deepest kiss. You know what I mean? It is everything to me. And that is a joy to me. And that's why I'm like, why am I getting upset? I can do this kitchen because I get to make everybody every week, different people, get their box and get excited, right? I got my box. That fills me up so much. I'm going to encourage all of you to find the thing that makes you full like that. That's better than sex, right? That's better than the hug. That just fills you up, right? I got tingles. I mean, I literally have electricity talking about it in my neck and in my shoulders. So those are things, and if you don't know what that is right now, those are great journal entries this week. What is your greatest joy in life? What is the pleasure you do every day? Then here's your affirmation. Here's your weekly affirmation. I have plenty of time. Today, savor a small moment that you usually take for granted, such as a hot cup of coffee, maybe not so hot anymore, or exchanging smiles with a stranger. Just kidding. That's our card this week. Sunstone. It's the first week of spring. I'll take pictures of this and I'll post it for y'all. It's the first day of spring, y'all. What? Menu will be updated. I will post it once it's updated. Share with your friends. I appreciate y'all more than you know. Now, another thing that's going to be coming out this week, I promise you, is information, lots of information about Peace, Love, and Feast Fest for Earth Day. Go ahead and put it on your calendar, 4/22. Take the day off if you need to. We are procuring boats. We've found our beautification project. If y'all are, give me some thumbs up, some hearts if you want to know what that is. I wish I could capture the joy of you being my friend and I'm going to cry. that's gonna makes my heart very happy, Heather, and I'm so excited for October to be able to hug your neck. Oh my gosh, I wish I could capture the joy of you being my friend and part of my soul family. I never thought I could feel so deeply thrilled. I know, girl. But it's coming, right? It's coming. So here is what our project's going to be. We are procuring kayaks. If you have a kayak or a canoe, bring it. Be prepared to bring it. We are going to partner with Friends of the Appomattox. We're going to float the river on. How fun is a float? Like a river float? Come on, y'all. We're going to float the river on 422, and we're going to clean up the river, pick up pieces and parts, have a fun day of community and fellowship. We're going to start off with a morning meditation prayer for the planet with some just some stretching yoga, like more of like flow yoga, not anything just like to hurt you, not like a whole bunch of hard exercise. We're going to start off with some fun earth healing meditation and stretching yoga. We're going to go from there. We're going to take and get set up and go down the Appomattox and float and clean up. And then when we're done, we're trying to find a location to do our 420 high tea for another little sound bath and afternoon reflection on the planet. Local businesses, if you're not local, you can 100% Peace, Love, and Feast Fest in your hometown. If you want to partner from wherever you are, message me. I will help you with some ideas to get in touch with your local community. You cannot change the world, but you can change the world one hometown at a time, one person at a time. And that's what we're going to do. Yes, that's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about it. It is a day of service. If you cannot take the whole day off and float the river, you can plant some flowers. April's box is going to have wildflowers in it, and we're going to have April showers bring May flowers, so you can plant your flowers if you can't do anything else. But if you could start hashtagging Peace, Love, and Feast Fest, I would really appreciate that very much. More info will come on that tomorrow, but I wanted to just touch base with it today. I will post the menu as it is done. I love each and every one of you. I know some of you had given me your sizes. I will message you to get payment for your t-shirts. I'm going to try to get those ordered this week as well. I'm super excited about that. I can't be there going to the docks and do some cleanup. I got some neighbors. They said they would come help. Oh, yes. So, Heather, tell them to use Peace, Love, and Feast Fest. I'll send y'all some swag if you want to do it out there. I'm going to try to find some swag. My hair is flat. I'm trying to poof it up. And I can't wait to show y'all when it's all done for me. But it's a little short, sassy bob. A couple little shout outs real quick because I love my local business owners. Jennifer Kackman sent me, I ordered a Reiki infused bracelet. It's got green adventurous and intuitive pick do it. It came beautifully packaged. And she even gave me some Palo Santo wood. Smells so good. And look at this beautiful little bag it came in. I love the stars and moons. I love those. So if you need some jewelry, infused jewelry, Jennifer Kackman, amazing. Reach out to her. She's in the Grateful Fed community. I love it. My hair is courtesy of the Outer U with Angie Clements. She did an amazing job. Now she is super booked. If you are local to us and you're looking for someone to do your hair, there's a younger girl that people have not been booking with because she's younger, but she is phenomenal. I watched her do hair. She is amazing. Her name is Liv at the Outer U. Call and get an appointment with her. And then what else was I going to shout out today? Oh, the Outer U, my bracelet, and that's what I had today. We're going to shout out some more different stuff coming up. But there's a new store on Main Street of Farmville called Lex on Main. I went there this week as well. She's going to be a part of Peace, Love, and Feast Fest in some shape, fashion, or form. A local young girl that's doing size inclusive, all about beautifying the world by making people feel beautiful. She's got a great message. I love her to death. I'm going to be taking her a form because I don't use it anymore, like mannequins and stuff. So what I'm going to tell you is get out there, meet your local business owners. Help breathe life into their businesses. The world is an ugly place right now. Going out there and letting people know that we appreciate them when they give us good service and good ideas is important. So go out and do that today. Go out and be kind to somebody because you can. I am going to, I'm working on making my list of all the things I need to get going. I got to go make some butter. I got to go make some tincture. And I hope that you all will enjoy these whoopie pies. They're going to be phenomenal. If you've gotten your orange crush whoopie pie, let me know how you think about it. I know that one person, y'all saw the message. It was delicious. I did not get to taste those because I made exactly what I needed and I actually sold one more than I had. So I had to make something up for her because I didn't have the extra one that I thought we had. So it's been a crazy, crazy week, but so much fun stuff. Spring is sprung. All the things we were like meditating on is now time to come to fruition. So go out, make the day, make the week amazing. I will see y'all tomorrow morning for Wake and Bake. On that note, I love you all. Have a great, wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Have a good one. Don't forget peace, love, and feast, and stay elevated. Talk to y'all soon.